Welcome back to the Iron Insight. This is episode 4. I'm your host, Bryn Welds.
And I'm Andrew Nichols with Southern Leatherworks.
And today we're joined by Mr. CarpWelding. How's it going, bud?
She's going good, boys. Going good.
There he is.
Going good.
How did you get started in welding?
High school, honestly. I was at a point where I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. I was going to end up being a carpenter. And then I took a high school welding class, and I absolutely sucked. But I was like, yeah, this sparks is better than sawdust, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how I got started.
That's ironic because your last name's Carpenter.
And my whole family's carpenters.
And that is complete opposite of welding. I think that's great. My dad was a carpenter as well, and completely backwards of welding. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was fun. I was like, I could see myself doing this, and just started hammering, grinding at it, really.
How long did you weld before you started posting on social media?
Probably about a year. Probably about like a year of me just pumping out absolutely terrible welds.
Yeah. When you first started posting, did you think you were good?
A little bit.
Or were you good?
No, I thought I was good. And then I could do like little stainless dimes, and that was about it.
Were you
And
doing
then,
the TIG art?
Yeah, I didn't do TIG art at all. Like if you scroll like super far back on my TikTok, you can see like me in high school, like this kid sucks.
That's like the same for me. Did your first video blow up?
No, I think it got like 300 views, and then I came up with the idea to like make like an edit, and then that one hit like 4,000 views, and that's when I was like, look out, everybody, 4,000 views on this one.
4,000.
Yeah, that's like what happened with me when I posted my first video. It went crazy because everybody was hating, so it was boosting the algorithm, which I mean, rightfully so. It was a trash weld, and I was working at Hy-Vee, the grocery store, and I was like showing all my coworkers and stuff. I was like, "Look at me, dude."
You know what's funny is that when I first started, I was working at Wendy's.
Wendy's?
Yeah, I was like, everybody look at my welds, man. Working at Wendy's.
Working at the Wendy's, showing off welds.
I should have done a judging welds at Wendy's video.
I did at Hy-Vee. When you were in high school, was the plan always to go to American Welding Academy, or?
No. Towards the end, it was after I graduated that for a second there, I was almost looking at going to Western.
Yeah.
And then, that's when I started to become friends with Sean Floatman, Dabs Wellington, and he was like, "Hey, like I'm student outreach coordinator for American Welding Academy. Like, if you want to come here, we can make that happen." And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah, I want to come, hang out with you." And then I signed up, and I want to say it was like 2 months later, I was down in Missouri.
What about Surgeons of Steel? You remember that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the OG.
What did you first think when I hit you up about joining that group?
I thought it was a good idea. Was it before or after Houston, Texas?
So I hit you up before, and that was like a couple weeks in, and I was like, "Yo, y'all want to go underwater welding?"
I remember that. I told my mom, she was like, I don't know about this. I was like, come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
that's what my parents said too. They were like, "What do you mean they're gonna let you weld underwater?"
Yeah, I was like, Mom, you don't get it. All right. These guys want to see us. All right. We're famous now.
Dude, it was crazy.
We're big stuff now, Mom. All right, come on.
Yeah, like, let us go and do some cool shit.
Dude, we were literally kids.
I
That's
remember
insane.
the newspaper.
Yeah, I think I was
remember the newspaper
18.
coming out of like however many days after the newspaper came out, and it was Bryn Welds on the front, and you had the underwater welding hood on, or whatever. You had your full get up and suit on. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, freaking. They put me in the newspaper. They put me on the news. Like it was a huge thing for Grand Island, Nebraska. I literally, hang on, I got the newspaper.
It was
Oh,
serious.
fuck, never mind. They're in a box somewhere because I'm just moving in. But yeah, that was insane. And then that was like the day before my first day of senior year, and there was a
Oh yeah,
storm in Houston that delayed my flight in Dallas. So I missed the first day of school and slept in the Dallas airport.
I remember that. I
Yeah,
remember
that sucked.
I was already back home in Detroit, and he was still stuck at the airport.
Yeah, and everything was closed. So like I'm going to
I
vending
remember that. I
machines and
remember
just
that too.
eating
I remember him texting
vending
me that.
machine food.
Yeah,
That
no,
sucked.
that was a rough experience. I don't I know they wanted to go back, but I don't know if I would.
I don't think I don't know. Depends who we'd be with
Yeah,
for sure.
it's
Like,
got to be the right people.
yeah. Um, what about that truck that we rode around in?
Yeah, that
It
thing
was
was very
huge.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable because we were so packed in there. There was like, yeah,
Dude,
that
that
was
thing
crazy.
was you hit one bump and that thing was way up in the air.
Yeah,
It was fun
and
though.
there was like 6 people in there or seven.
Yeah, for me it was just me and my mom, I think.
Oh,
I think
oh,
I came
dang.
separate.
Yeah, yeah. Ours was packed. What about that experience? Were you questioning doing that for a living ever?
I thought about it maybe about for like 3 minutes, and then I was like, hell no.
Before you did it or after you did it?
Both, really. I was like, yeah, this isn't something that I want to do.
Yeah, but
You know, I
it was cool for a one time thing though.
oh, definitely. Just to say that you did it, and a lot of people talk about it all the time. They're like, I wonder what it's like, and I'm like, well, I could tell you somewhat of what it's like in a tank,
Yeah. What
but
about
And
that
it
was
always
about it.
seems to be
what'd you think about
it
FabTech?
always seems to be. Oh, good. Good.
Fab Tech was fire.
Yeah. Is it
Fab's,
gonna be a yearly thing now for you?
I think so. Yeah, I think it will.
Yeah. You so you went oh this year. This year was your first year, right?
Yeah, this year was my first year at Fab Tech, and it was a little overwhelming at first.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I mean it opened some avenues for you. Are we allowed to talk about that yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we can talk about it.
Nice. Let's get into it. So Mr. Carp is partnered with Feronius now.
Fronius USA.
Fronius.
How'd that come about?
My goodness.
You know Weld Zombie, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, zombie.
So Weld Zombie, me and him were talking a lot at Fab Tech, and we were hanging out and whatnot. Because I didn't meet him before, so he was pretty much telling me what he does for his job, and then I told him what I did, and that was kind of the end of that. And I want to say it was October, maybe. He texted me and he said, "Hey, Fronius is looking for pipe welders. They want a pipe welder for like their social media influencers. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And so then they reached out to me, and it's a super slow process. So I've been at it with them since October, just waiting on getting all the paperwork set, talking to the legal sides. But I know the one thing I probably shouldn't talk about is the welder that I'm getting because it hasn't released yet.
Nice. That's a friggin'
Fancy.
flex.
So
Fancy.
she's not out
Fancy.
yet.
What about your TIG art? Where are you doing that now? Because you moved out, right?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm at my uncle's big barn now, where I got a much more room, and then I'm actually after this podcast, I gotta draw out some measurements for a new table, get my material list, and all that. So we're making do. I know when I first got my apartment, I seen a 220 plug in the storage room. I was like, I could weld in here. I
have
could
Have
make it
you tried
happen.
it?
No. I thought about it, but I was like, I don't know if I should be welding in the apartment.
Oh, it's in the apartment? I thought you meant like a
Yeah.
garage.
No, it's in the apartment. Like I'd be welding in my
Yeah,
living room.
you probably could. You probably could. It
I
wouldn't be
mean,
too
with
bad.
TIG, you could do it.
Yeah.
So, what was American Welding Academy like? You moved how many states is that? 3 states down?
Yeah, 3 states over. So I was in Detroit and then I moved all the way past St. Louis, about 45 minutes past St. Louis. And For an 18-year-old kid, it was a big step, I've never lived without my parents before, but it was awesome being at American Welding Academy because you see all these welding academies and whatnot, and they're all work, 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 and it was like that at American Welding Academy, but it was mainly like a family. Like not many people still go to their weld school, like drive out of their own time 8 hours to go back to their weld school like every year for their welding competition.
Yeah.
It was truly an awesome experience, and some of the guys there were awesome.
So that's how you met Dabs. Was he he reached out to you?
No, how I met Dabs is that's when I was still in high school and I was texting him like, "What am I doing wrong?" And that's how me and him kind of started chatting, and that's how I eventually met him, and then we just became best friends after that. And that's how that worked out.
Yeah, now you're on the same team.
Yeah,
Fronius. That's freaking crazy. That's huge, dude.
Fronius
Yes.
guys.
Yeah.
We
Fronies is big.
it's
He's a
crazy
big.
to think that
That's
yeah, that's a big company. It's crazy to think that we were kids when we went to Houston. Like I was 16.
You were 16?
Yeah, or
Oh my God.
17.
I
Uh,
think I think I was 18. I think.
that was nuts. We just went underwater welding for a weekend or whatever.
And I remember I had 40,000 followers when I got there.
Yeah, I had 14,000.
So we were still kind of on the smaller side, and we were,
Yeah, I
making it
remember.
happen.
I used to use our group combined following to fucking get to get like make it more noticeable for the company. So
Yeah. I
that
mean,
was
yeah, you gotta
crazy.
gotta sell them, man.
Yeah, dude, that was insane because it was just a weird group, dude. We were so young. It was like four
Yeah,
kids and then Courtney too. But a lot of them dropped off. A lot of them don't post
yeah.
no
I
more.
don't think Courtney went. No,
No,
Jamie went though.
yeah, Courtney didn't go. She went later on though.
Yeah, I remember that.
Did you want to be a welder when you were a kid? Like even before carpenter?
No, I'll be honest, I was scared sparks when I was a kid. I
What?
loved anything fire, but I remember the first time I picked up a grinder with my dad, I did not like it at all.
How many welders you got?
Oh boy. I have an AHP 201. I have a Yes Welder MIG and a Blue Demon MIG and a Yes Welder plasma cutter and did I say the Blue Demon MIG?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got
yeah.
that one. I think that's it. I think that's it. But hopefully I'll have a bunch more machines. Yeah, there's a couple, They all have their purposes for me at least. I'm usually always on my HP, which the HP is actually what I bought from Sean. That was Sean's welder that I bought from him. For the price point, I think it's worth it for the price point, yeah. But I mean, there was only a couple flaws. I'm not with them at all anymore. There was a couple flaws that I didn't like. When I got my welder, everything was fine. Some of their shipping and handling was super hard to get a hold of them. They gave me a spool of MIG wire, and I opened the box, and it was completely bird nested, completely
Mm.
unraveled inside the box. And then they sent another one, and the entire spool was destroyed. So there was that, but I still use my Yes Welder MIG. It runs fine for me. For the price, I think it was the welder I have is like $1,200. I think it does everything that it needs to do for $1,200.
When you first came into the industry, what was kind of the job you were looking at?
I was all over the place. I wanted to be in a fab shop, just doing rollout bench welds all day, or I even thought at one point did going and doing production MIG. And then after AWA is when I really, found my calling, I guess.
What what was their job placement like?
I don't remember what their job placement was. I remember at the end I applied for the union. So that was the route that I went after AWA.
You're in the pipe fitters union, right?
Yeah, so I'm in local 636 out of Detroit right now. And then I applied to them when like a week before I graduated. So that way I got home and I could get started right away.
How's that been? You love it?
Yeah, I've been working on a lot of cool stuff. If you live in Detroit, Detroit just put up a new skyscraper that I did, uh, like 700 something feet in the air. Welding up there was a little bit nerve-wracking. Um, I'd worked at international airport, Detroit Metro. I worked there. That was pretty cool. And then now I'm on the Gordie Howe International Bridge, which is the new suspension bridge for Canada and the United States. It's a $4.6 billion job.
Dang. Didn't
Yeah,
you
46-inch pipe, 24, 36. It's a lot of big stuff.
didn't you have a welder in the back of your truck that got stolen out of your driveway?
Yeah, I did. Dude, you just brought back a memory I completely forgot about. Yeah.
Yep, tell us about that.
So I was a kid, I think, yeah, I was like 16. And I just put the Lincoln, it was a Lincoln 140, and it had the bottle and everything attached to it. And I put it in the back of the truck. There was no tailgate, no cover, nothing. You could drive by and easily see it. So that was kind of dumb on my part. And then I came back to grab it and it was gone. And it was one of those moments where you're like, did I set it somewhere? Like somebody couldn't have stole it, you know? Please tell me someone didn't steal it. And somebody stole it. And it wasn't even my welder. I was borrowing it. It was my cousin's.
Oh man.
So
They
then I
take the
had to
bottle?
yeah, they took the bottle too. They took everything. So then I had to text him like, yeah. I had to text him. I was like, hey, the welder got stolen. And he was not happy. So I ended up fronting him $500 cash. And then he actually
Oh
got an
dang.
ESOP now. But yeah, that sucked. That was not fun.
What made you what made you come up with the idea to put a Twizzlers nibbler on your buddy's bend test while he was welding?
Oh, I know. I seen you added that to my favorites. Added that to your favorites. That was Brad. I'm still friends with Brad. Brad's pretty cool. I did some weld art for Brad, but he's just one of those people that they're your friend and you just love messing with them, you know? So like we'd get him with all kinds of stuff. Air horns was a popular one. He'd be in the middle of a weld, hit him with the air horn. That was always fun. I wonder what would happen. I mean, this plate is pretty hot. I'm kind of curious what's going to happen here.
Did you see that videos Wo Bros just made with a Slim Jim? They saw they were trying if a Slim Jim would arc and it would weld.
I think I did see that one, and I think somebody made that video and they put like a stick rod inside like a piece of TIG rod
That's
inside of
what
it.
I thought. But Wo Bros just did it and it arced too.
I'll have to try that. I actually have a lot of Slim Jims in here. So I'll have to try to weld with Slim Jim.
Were you passionate about welding from the get go, or
No, no, I didn't become passionate till I started like being good at TIG. And then that's when I was like, all right, like I actually really want to understand this. I feel like that's the biggest reason people give up on welding is they don't understand what they're doing wrong. You know?
yeah?
Like if you get a bad bead, they don't understand like what's making it a bad bead. What can I do differently? And I feel like that's why a lot of people don't become passionate and they just either throw it away or just happy with what they're doing.
What kept you motivated then?
Um, I think the social media did really because when I started doing the social media, I knew that my welds weren't that good and I really wanted to have like good welds to put out there for people to see, like good content and whatnot. And that's kind of what I was like, all right, well, if I'm gonna post content, I should probably try to get good first of all.
Yeah, that's
And
the
then ever
same
since
thing
that, I've
for
been
me.
passionate.
What about who was early into the social media game? Like obviously Dabs. Who else did you watch way back then?
Dabs was, I want to say Dabs on social media. Dabs was my number one because I remember I didn't know about Dabs. I was actually introduced for Dabs by my welding teacher, and he was like, "Hey, this guy does a lot of cool stuff on Instagram." And then I followed him, and I that's the only one I followed for like a year.
Huh. And then you got Bob Moffitt. I used to
Yeah,
watch
Bob
Bob.
Moffett. I
Uh,
watched him on YouTube. His name's Jody.
yeah, Jody from Welding
Yep.
Tips and Tricks.
Yeah, I watched him a lot on YouTube, and then
The kid that Tiggs for me, dude. I watched that guy when I first started, like none other.
yeah, I remember watching him. I was still didn't know how to weld when I was watching him.
Yeah, same. God, he blew up early. Laying beads, he was back then.
Laying beads. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't talked to him in a while, but I did for the minute there. Me and him would talk to each other a lot.
Yeah, he quit posting. But
Yeah,
when him and the kid that Tiggs were at their height, dude, it was like neck and neck.
that's when weld talk was a thing,
Yeah,
man.
that's when Weld Talk was the thing, dude. Like it was huge.
And that's kind of why I don't know if you noticed, but I don't really post much on TikTok anymore. Um, I feel like you can put in a lot of work for a TikTok video and it get like 200 views maybe.
Yeah.
But Instagram is more personal, I feel. You know, everybody it's just more personal. Like it's like Facebook almost. Like
Yeah.
everybody's tight knit and you can look at who all liked your post and you're like, "Oh, hey, I know him." And I feel like it's just a lot more personable.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've definitely slowed down on TikTok, but it's a lot more easy to monetize it. So I think
Yeah.
that's kind of the route I took with that, and that's where my largest following is. You got a big following on Instagram now. So,
Yeah, I've been putting in a lot of work on Instagram trying to get my Instagram up. It's just it is a lot harder than TikTok. TikTok is super easy to get followers.
yeah.
Instagram is like you get those followers and they're still going to continue to support you, you know, like on TikTok I got 270,000 followers and I could post a video right now that's pretty sweet and it'd get probably about 2,000 views on it. Like it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. And it feels like the videos that you put the most effort into, they flop the hardest.
Yeah,
And then
I 100% agree.
something simple will just blow up and then it's like, well, why didn't this one then?
Well, what happened? Where did I go wrong? You know?
Did you get into the TIG art because you saw Dabs doing it or and you just wanted to try it?
Yeah, pretty much. I saw him doing it and I was like, okay, like I want to try this. And then my first couple ones were terrible, but I just kept doing them, just kept doing them, and eventually they started to look really good.
Do the shit talkers ever get to you? Or did they ever?
No, not really. No, I my problem, which on TikTok, is I love, you know, talking shit.
Yeah.
So like if they came at me, I was coming back twice as hard, you know. And then that's eventually like I remember I got like banned for like a week because I said some stuff I shouldn't have. And yeah, no, they never really got to me.
Yeah. What about if you had to think of three people throughout your career that have helped you the most along the way? Three good mentors. Who would you give props to?
Um, Number one, Sean Floatman, for sure, Dabs. Number two is Adam Holt. He was my teacher. He was my teacher in American Welding Academy. And then third one would probably be Harrison Dye. He was my other really good teacher.
That sounds so familiar. I
Yeah, he
know
was really good pipe welder, and you know, he was good. He was like a drill sergeant when he teach though, so everybody listened to him, and he's really good.
me and Andrew had a teacher that exact same way. But I think he was a drill sergeant. I know he was in the army. But yeah, he caught me making brass knuckles in there. We talked about that on the last episode.
I listened to that one.
Out of four just massive galvanized nuts.
Yeah, that'll get you, man.
How'd you meet your girlfriend?
TikTok actually.
Okay,
So
let me preface this for those that don't know. His girlfriend is also a nutty welder, so
yeah,
there's that.
she's at 40,000 followers, I think, on TikTok, and I remember she posted a funny TikTok, and yeah, she forgot to turn her gas on or something, and I texted in the comments, and I was like, "Come on, Eve," and then she started texting me, and I got her Snapchat, and she was like, "Hey, like, I want to come, like, can you teach me how to weld, basically?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, come on over." And then we started hanging out, and then we started hanging out even more, and then that was the end of that story, really. We just ended up dating.
That's crazy through TikTok.
Yeah.
What's the union like? You know, a lot of guys argue union or non-union.
I know a lot of guys do. Uh, it's good both ways. You can make a lot of money in non-union. You make a lot of money in the union. It's just the unions. It's got a lot of politics in it. You know, there's a lot of politics in the union. There's a lot of guys that don't do anything in the union. Like they're just lazy, I guess you could say, and they're just trying to float themselves along
Hmm.
and get paid. But overall, I like the union. I like my last job. My company didn't have any work left, so I got laid off, and I was back to work. That was on a Friday. I was back to work on Monday. Well, I didn't have to do my resume or anything. That's the thing about the unions is you'll never have to fill out a resume.
Huh.
You're always gonna, you're not the one looking for the work. The Hall's job is to find you work.
Yeah. Did you ever want to start your own company? Obviously, you do a lot of side work with the TIG art and whatnot.
Mm,
But was that ever an idea?
I am really thinking about it. I don't like the traditional just show up, beat your body up, and go home and earn your own paycheck.
Yeah.
I would rather make money off of something that I came up with, and I haven't, released anything or said anything yet, but I am working on like a website right now through Shopify. So it's been a bit of a learning curve, but I think it's definitely needed. Um, I had an Etsy, and there's been a lot of stuff selling off Etsy.
Yeah, you got what all you got for the people interested? You got custom TIG art.
Yeah, my
You got
roses and
roses.
my
Yeah.
the roses are a big one. Those ones sold out really fast. I think I still have one
The
left on
difference
my bookshelf
between
over there.
the difference between your roses and everybody else's are yours are like luxury
Yeah, like they
roses.
got the wood base and
Yeah, the wood
all
base and
that fancy stuff.
yeah.
In which they take, I sell them for $120 a piece, and everybody's like, that's too much. And for one rose, it takes me like 4 hours. Like I
Damn.
got to cut everything out, I got to clean everything up. It takes a long time.
Yeah. So is that what you're gonna do, or maybe custom fabrication? Have you ever thought of that?
I've thought of that. I really want to. I've been practicing a lot of titanium, and I've been getting really good at titanium. And I think I want to try to do some like exhausts and stuff. Just random like right, I'll do weld repairs. Like I just want to have like a thing. Like if you need something done, I can do this, 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 and this. You want me to pipe in something for a mechanical chiller? I can do that too. you
Yeah,
know?
you went crazy on the go karts for a while.
Yeah, my go-kart, the motor's getting redone right now. I put in some heavier valve springs, so that thing's gonna be a rowdy when it comes back.
It was already rowdy.
Yeah, and then the nitrous bottle's on the way.
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna put nitrous on it. Yeah, so the
mobbing.
go-kart was my first like weld project when I got home from American Welding Academy, and that was fun.
Yeah,
That was fun. And then to finally hop on it and destroy the neighborhood, that was even better.
yeah. You're mobbing through Detroit in a go kart. It's not a normal go kart. Go karts do not go that fast.
Yeah, no, it's alcohol. It runs off alcohol.
Seriously?
Yeah, it runs off M5 methanol.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those, you ever been next to a race car? Like they'll make you pretty high just sitting there.
Yeah, that thing's crazy. What's some long term goals for Mr. Carp?
My long-term goals are I want to in the union. I'm trying to get as many certs as I can and make scale as soon as I can. That's a big goal for me right now. And then a long-term goal is I want to be able to come home from work and make weld art. You know, Not so much just to sell it. Like that's the thing that I'm not selling. I'm not doing the weld art just to make money. You know, I'm doing it because it's like a hobby of mine and I love doing it. Um, and then another long-term project or goal that I'm working on right now is a massive, massive sea turtle.
A sea turtle
It's, yeah, it's huge.
out of steel.
Yeah, everything's steel. I've gone through like 11 pounds of MIG wire on it already.
Oh my gosh. Wait,
Yeah, there's a
haven't
lot.
you been doing that for a while?
Yeah,
I think I
yeah.
remember that.
In between like me moving, I kind of I didn't have a chance to do it, especially working like OT and whatnot. Like I didn't have time to work on it. But now I'm not on overtime anymore, so I have some free time.
Huh. Oh, damn, dude. I'm fucking running out of questions. We're flying through this shit.
I'll give you one. How about that?
All right.
All right, what's your long-term goals for this podcast? What is something you'd really like to see happen with this podcast?
The live podcast at FabTech. That'd be cool in a booth.
That would
Um,
be really cool.
the main reason I started it is because in my videos I never talk, and that's something you don't do often as well.
Yeah, I don't do that very often either. I'm not good at it. That's why I don't do it.
They see your face, so they know what you look like, and they've seen mine, but I never get to talk, and I never get on a personal wavelength with my followers. So I
Yeah, I
definitely
feel like I'm
started
just
this
like a face,
podcast.
and nobody really understands like what I do and all this stuff.
Yeah,
Not very like personal.
that's the main reason I started it. Another one is because I love the Well.com podcast, Bo Wigington and Jason Becker with Arc Junkies, and I love
Hmm.
them both, but they're only informational. There's some entertainment, but for me, it's like I want more entertainment value with information as well while I'm
Yeah,
working.
like different routes that different welders have taken and where it's led them and
Yeah. So
stuff like that.
we're more trying to get to know the guy behind the torch. You know what I mean?
Right.
And get some entertainment out of it as well. And
Hell
it's
yeah, I
it's
think that's
fun.
good.
It's just fun doing it, dude.
Yeah.
We did yeah, we've done. So by the time this comes out, then you'll hear the one with Welds by Zen and Chris from Well Bros, and yeah, it's just fun having guests like that because you don't know what those guys are like either outside of their camera.
Yeah.
So
And that was one of the things that, in for instance when I met Dabs, I just seen him as like a face. Just a face on Instagram, but when I finally got to know him, I was like, dude, this guy's cool as hell, you
yeah,
know? And I feel like that's what this podcast could also show. Like they're different than just somebody welding on Instagram.
yeah, that's something cool about FabTech too is when you get to meet everybody in person that you've been talking to for years over Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, that was cool. I wasn't expecting much from FabTech, and then after FabTech, it was me, Sean, Ray Ripple, and some other people just sitting at an Airbnb outside, just chilling.
Right.
I was like, this is weird.
It's the craziest thing because you've been watching these people for years and now you're just hanging out with them.
Yeah,
And then like the events that come from FabTech is fun. The event itself is fun, the expo, but
the after parties are
yeah,
even better too.
what happens after and like just hanging out with people that you don't normally get to talk to in person and getting to know them is like the best.
Yeah, and I think for FabTech, I spent over $500 in Chicago just on electric scooters.
Yeah, dude,
Like
exploring the city because
me, Sean, and Eve stayed out till like 1, 2 in the morning in Chicago, riding scooters through parks, streets, you name it. We were everywhere.
yeah,
It
dude,
was awesome.
FabTech's the best. I mean, and I had never been to Chicago, and the year before I had never been to Atlanta, so that was it just makes it
Yeah, I'm
great.
excited for Orlando. Orlando will be fun.
Yeah, I've never been
It'll be
to
nice and warm.
never been to Florida, so I'm looking forward to that.
Never been to Florida?
Uh-uh.
Florida's fun. I
Yeah.
had a I had a spring break there. You know how those are. Those things are wild.
Yeah, Florida. I don't know. It's always been somewhere I want to go, but I just I like California. Southern California is nice. Um, but I hear the ocean's way better on in Florida.
No, yeah, I agree.
I don't know. It's gonna be cool. I think the year after it's gonna be Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas will be good. I'm also looking forward to that. I think Feronius is at SEMA, so I've never been to SEMA.
Oh,
So
dude. You're gonna have
Bring
to
me to
hate it
Phoenix.
because you're a
Bring me
car
to,
guy.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, please bring me to Vegas.
SEMA would be insane. But
Seems cool.
and with FabTech, it's cool. Like I don't know, there's a lot of stinkers there. Like companies hyping up this product, but it's like, come on, this is not
It's
good.
not a good product.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you got like I don't know the foreign companies that bring over like horrible helmets and gloves.
Yeah. I think every single day when I open my Instagram, I have some Indian company.
We put your logo on this.
We put your logo on here. I'm like, dude, I wear Blue Demon gloves. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, the game
I don't need
changers.
your gloves.
Game changers are nuts.
I got so many pairs of game changers. That is all I wear.
Yeah.
That's
Which
it.
ones? The heavy D's or the
The
shorties?
shorties.
Yeah, I like the shorties too.
And then Eve, she'll run the little tigs. The little demons, they're called.
the
Those are fun.
those are the kids ones, aren't they?
Yeah, that's how small her hands are.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, Eve, she's not very big.
Are
She's
you on
four
the
foot 11.
are you on the blue crew?
No.
Oh dang. You just I don't know.
No, I just have like
In
a
the
really good
foreseeable
relationship with
future,
Brian.
though, I'll put money you'll get on there, dude. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's like it's weird. I'm not on the blue crew, but I get the same information
Yeah.
through everybody that the blue crew would get.
And you rep
Um,
it a lot more than some of the blue crew members do.
I love it. I mean, that's all I use in like TIG art and whatnot is those gloves. I
And
don't I
and the
don't use any other gloves than the game changers because I prefer the game changers. Brian did a really good job with the game changers. Brian also did a really, really good job with the Pano V2.
V2. Yup. I was just gonna say that. I bought that at the show.
Yeah, that hood is amazing. I when he said that he was sending me something, I did not think I was going to use it,
The
every single day like I do.
the only downside that I have to the Pano V2 is how thin the lens cover is. So for me, it warps. If
Mine
I'm
wore it pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah. I
that's
was
the
also
only
doing
downside.
MIG at I was doing stick at like 120 amps and I had my face right in front of it though. So that was kind of my fault.
Yeah, I
I'll
was
take that one.
I was migging on a tank on a positioner, and it's so hard to see the seam sometimes. So I'm like I'm in there. I'm pretty much eating
Yeah.
them sparks. So yeah,
Taking
but that
face fulls.
dude, the flashlight built inside of a helmet that shuts off when you start your weld is the most
Oh, it's
genius
amazing.
thing ever.
Yeah. I remember I was doing some exhaust work and I didn't know that the panel, it has two buttons like here and here. And one's like to turn off the darkening, like in a grind mode. The other one's the light.
Yeah,
And I did not know that. And it was absolutely, it was awesome when I found that out.
it
Because I was doing some exhaust work and you can't see under there.
it sucks that they already used the name Game Changer because that helmet would be a good one for that name too.
Yeah, it really is. It really is a game changer.
Yeah. Dude, I had my I went back to the school and I had my instructor put it on and I said, "Dude, I can see better through this helmet than I can with the helmet off. Just
Yeah.
with the regular world. Like it's fucking insane."
Well, I've taken some really good arc shots with that hood too.
Really.
Yeah, I think it's one of my top ones. I have a digital infinity. Thing's super heavy. I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's from Miller. And then for work, I use a Pipeliner's Cloud, chopped carbon sugar scoop. That is one of my favorite hoods, though.
Why'd you go with them instead of like Outlaw or Southern Leatherworks?
Um, I think I bought the Pipeliner's Cloud because I seen Sean using it, and it was after. So I didn't do a high school graduation party. I did one when I came back from Missouri, and
Mhm.
I had all this money, and I just was like, I'm gonna buy something like luxurious, like random crazy, like boom, here's a $300 hood. Looking back, did I need a $300 hood? Absolutely not. But it is nice. It is insanely light. I do forget that it's on my head.
What kind of lens you got in there?
It's a fixed shade. It's a random cheap one. I am talking with there's a company Vintage Welding Lenses. They make a really nice.
Yeah,
They make really nice glass for fixed shade.
dude, I love their. They
The
just
red one.
I like the purple one, but they dropped it. I think it was called like Marley Hayes or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I
They
just got into the fixed shade world. I'm still getting used to it, but like at work, it's just so much nicer just to flip your hood down and then you get the motion down and whatnot.
is it a flip up lens?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's she's strictly fixed.
Like the
I
lens is
didn't,
fixed in the lens box.
yeah, so it's got
Oh,
like a
okay.
little clip or something. I didn't like that big bulky thing that flips up.
Yeah,
It was just my personal preference that I didn't want that.
yeah.
So if I'm grinding something, I'll just put on some safety squints with my hood up. That's about it.
The color on the vintage view lenses are nuts, dude.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like there's nothing
It's,
like it.
I remember I had some crazy blue ones and I let people try them. It's really weird. You know,
Yeah.
it's cool though. Seeing the puddle turn different colors.
Yeah, now there's a lot of guys out there trying to replicate them.
Yeah.
I got sent one the other day. I'm not gonna say the company's name, but yeah,
Yeah, I'm very picky, which I have a lot of companies that have wanted to send me stuff, but I'm very picky on what I, take in. Like if it's a copy of somebody else, I'm like, I don't know.
I just charge them per video, and then I say, and I'm still gonna be honest.
Yeah.
And then that turns a lot of them away, but the ones that will accept that are usually pretty good if they're
Yeah,
gonna
if they can
accept it.
accept some criticism,
Yeah, yeah. Like
But
plasma cutter I had that I did a horrible review on. They sent me another one, and I was like, this is still shit.
yeah, my Yes Welder plasma cutter is not very good.
Yeah, this is I'm talking
Not
about
very good.
Simder, if you've ever heard of them. They're about
Yeah,
probably the
I've
same
heard of.
factory as Yes Welder, I bet.
They wanted me to do a review, and I just never texted them back.
Yeah, it was trash. I think
And it was at that point where I already had a lot of machines, so
yeah,
I was like, I don't know.
I started taking them in if they don't make me make a video on it, and then I'll use it. And if I don't like it, like I gave one to my uncle, I sold one to a pawn shop, then bought a gun from him. That's
Hell yeah,
that's
you
just
gotta
what's
do what you
going
gotta do.
on. Yeah, I mean,
Gotta do what
I
you
have
gotta
no
do.
use for 10 different welders when I have a couple from Everlast that will do whatever I need.
Yeah, I've never really used an Everlast. I used one once actually, and I liked it.
You should have tried the Typhoon, the new one at FabTech, dude.
I was gonna hop in there, but I was so overwhelmed. I hung out at I mainly hung out at the Blue Demon
Yeah,
booth. Then I was at the Fronius booth a lot, and then I was just walking around really,
yeah. I
just
mean,
meeting people.
what shoes did you wear? Did your feet hurt?
What shoes did I have? Oh, um I had ones on. I had Jordan ones. I think that's what I wore the entire time I was there.
Did you get to see everything?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the only thing I really didn't go to is like all the CNC machines and all that stuff.
Oh,
Like
I went
that
over
didn't
there.
really interest me. Like on the other side, like I was more on the welding side.
Yeah.
The
Damn.
other sides, I just kind of speed walk through. I was like, eh, eh.
What about finishing? Did you go over there?
I
That
don't think
that
so.
was like way down. I don't even know. It was in
Yeah,
the bellies of that convention center, but that's a massive building.
yeah, I don't think I went in there. Yeah, I don't think so.
I think this
I was more in the
Orlando
welding
one's a little
area.
smaller. I think so.
Yeah,
Atlanta was smaller than the Chicago
it's a
one,
little
but
smaller because I know that I was hearing from some of the companies that I'm close with how expensive a booth size is.
yeah,
Like, you remember Blue Demons from last year?
yeah,
Like the size of that one? That's like 30,000.
yeah. It's like it depends on if you want like a pad or not, and if you don't, then it's like 1,000 per square foot. Or yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's insane.
bonkers, and a lot of the companies that me and you are close to are they keep going up every year. They keep going up 10 square feet. I'm pretty sure Blue Demon went up 10 square feet this year, and then
Yeah.
Edge and Everlast went up 10 this past year. and they get to share a booth, so that's nice. Did you get to see that titanium V10 exhaust in the Edge
I
booth?
did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was sitting on that couch,
I think
and then
that's
it was me and Weld Zombie sitting on that couch, and then they came in and wanted to do an interview.
I
So I
think
was like,
that's with
"So
a Typhoon 330 from Everlast. I'm pretty sure that is what that was welded with. But that's
yeah,
Austin Hill for you. That guy's, or it was
yeah,
Austin or
he's
Johnny
nuts.
Dabbs. Yeah, one of them. They're both
Yeah,
good.
I didn't know who they were until Fab Tech.
Neither did I, but fuck, dude, they're insane on titanium.
That's the thing about Fab Tech; it really opens everything up. You can see a whole bunch,
It's humbling
from
too.
different people.
It's really humbling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're never like the best welder. There's
Yeah, no.
always, that's what I tell people. There's always going to be someone better.
One thing is, I don't like when the salesmen get too pushy and they come out and try to scan your badge.
Yeah.
Like me and James from SSP Weld were walking, and this salesman jumped out of his booth in front of us, and I said, he was like, "What do you guys do for work?" And I was like, "I work for the government." And then he fucking he stepped back, and that was how
Yeah.
that went.
Yeah, I'm working for the government right now, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the border. I'm working near the FBI.
What the hell?
Since, well, it's an international bridge, so you got to have like
Oh,
the border customs and all
yeah,
that. Yeah, which I signed a contract where I can't talk about it, but it's some cool stuff. It really is.
yeah. That sounds badass. Well, dude, I think we got 50 minutes of good footage. Here's one thing we do with all our guests is when we're wrapping it up, we ask, what is your favorite genre of music to listen to when you weld?
Oh, well, hmm. I'm a rock guy. I'll do some Ozzy Osbourne, some Metallica, Audio Slave, Linkin Park, all that kind of stuff.
Nice. This has been a great episode. We appreciate you guys listening to episode 4 of the Iron Insight. Start your week off right with the Iron Insight. Every Monday at 4 a.m., a new episode comes out. I'm Bryn Weld. Thank you so
I'm
much
Carp with Carp Welding.
to Mr. Carp at CarpWelding, CarpWelding on all social media platforms. And you heard it here. He's coming out with a website, custom TIG art, roses. Get at him. Feronius's newest ambassador. That's huge. Congratulations. And if you
Thanks,
want
sir.
an Everlast welder or Edge welding cups, hit me up at Bryn Welds on everything, BrynWelds, and the links will be in the show notes. Hell yeah. Thank you.